For this week's video discussion for Module 2, I want to tell my group a story about an organization and ethics. The story involves key affected parties, including a trainee accountant, the manager, the practice, and its other employees and the client. You are a trainee accountant in a second year of training with a small practice. A more senior trainee has been on sick leave, and you are due to go on study leave. You have been told by your manager that before you go and leave, you must complete some complicated reconciliation work. The deadline suggested appears unrealistic given the complexity of the work. You feel that you are not sufficiently experienced to complete the work alone. You would need additional supervision to complete it to the required standard, and your manager appears unable to offer the necessary support. If you try to complete the work within the proposed time frame, but fail to meet the expected quality, you could face repercussions on your return from study leave. You feel slightly intimidated by your manager and also feel pressure to do what you can for the practice in what are challenging times. It would be unethical to attempt to complete the work if you doubt your competence. However, simply refusing to or resigning from your employment would cause significant problems for both you and the practice. If you feel that your manager is being unsympathetic or simply fails to understand the issue, you should consider how best to raise the matter with the person within the practice responsible for training. It would be diplomatic to suggest to your manager that you raise the matter together and present your perspective views. This would have the added advantage of involving a third party. Two of the theories presented in the chapter, or in Chapter 3, relate to the story by the firm being identified as using the scientific management perspective and the possible need for the firm to develop an integrated perspective of culture. One can think about the story through each of those theories by how leadership at the accounting organization appears to rely on the scientific management principles for operating the organizational elements, which did not develop a cultural aspect to the accounting and training teams because culture is not a focus in the scientific management principles. Had the firm focused on the integrated perspectives of culture approaches, there could be an attempt to explain organizational behavior in terms of influence, an influence coming from the culture. This story challenges the organizational's values and ethics by displaying what management's motives are. Values influence what we will determine to be ethical, as described in section 4.4.1. In conclusion, both individuals and organizations have value systems that are expressed through communications behaviors.